Welcome to another episode of Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff. I'm delighted to be with you because it is here that we engage in conversations that can help you get your life in order to age better and live longer. What could be better than that? We talk about health, fitness, and eating, technology, memoir writing, relationships, deciding where to live and what to do next in retirement. We also discuss financial and legal matters and even final arrangements. Instead of sweeping things that are confronting or confounding under the carpet, we bring them into the light of day so we can sort things out, get in action, and get things done. Today, we're going to be talking with Noah Haydn. Noah has built a career around showing aging adults that they don't have to get weaker and less capable as the years go by. How does he do this? By having them lift weights. Just when you thought lifting weights was for the UFC fighters or for the 20 somethings at the gym, along comes Noah to suggest weightlifting for 50, 60, 70, 80, and older adults. He says it's a good thing. We'll have to find out more about that. This craziness is not to be believed. Noah trained with Dr. Jonathan Sullivan. He's the author of the Barbell Prescription, Strength Training for Life After 40 in Michigan, where he obtained his professional barbell coach credential. He's the owner of Stronger Seniors, a weightlifting gym in St. Petersburg, Florida, where he teaches online and in person. In fact, I'm one of Noah's victims. I mean, clients. That's right. My latest form of torture is lifting weights. Only kidding about the torture. Noah is great, and he's on staff as well as an editor and online coach for Barbell Logic. And we're lucky that all things considered, he's here today, and he has something to teach us worth listening to. So please welcome him to Declutter 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff. Welcome, Noah. How are you today?
Good. Hi. How are you doing?
Good. So tell me about why, first of all, let's start with the very basics and build up to the weightlifting. Why is it important to keep exercising as you age? Or even if you haven't been exercising, to start exercising as you age?
Well, there's a lot of health benefits from exercising. The main thing that I wanted to talk about today
Okay.
is what kind of exercise is most valuable for an older person to spend most of their time on. So, uh, so I'll talk about training, like what is strength training, which is what you're doing in the gym with me, as opposed to other kinds of exercise.
And what I
So
want to just specify for people when he says strength training, I am lifting uh, barbells, like you see the guys on TV with little weights at either end of a long rod, and I'm lifting them in the air, and I'm bending them to lift them off the ground. So that is one form of strength training, and that's what Noah is addressing. Is why is that important?
yeah, and that's what I specialize in, and we'll get into why I chose that over other forms of exercise. So uh, there are there are lots of ways to exercise. Uh, Most of the exercise that people tend to do revolves around feeling like you got a good workout in today. So getting your blood pumping, getting a little out of breath, getting sweaty, which are great. There's a place for that, but that may or may not be moving you toward your long-term health and fitness goals over time. So, in comparison to that, training focuses on getting results over a long period of time, and that requires planning. That's the big difference between training and exercise is the planning component. And that guarantees that you're moving in the right direction for whatever those goals are. So, strength training would focus on making you stronger over time in measurable ways. That's pretty important. So, a strength training program like what you're doing, Michelle, that is focusing on increasing your ability to produce force in a handful of movements over time.
What do you mean by force?
I'm using that term intentionally because strength is can be a bit ambiguous. You know, we talk about people that are really strong-willed, or or a person that runs a marathon as being really strong, and that might not be technically true for the way that we're describing this. So, if your muscles are stronger, that means that they can produce more force against your environment in some way. And that's very different from muscular endurance, which is something like a marathon, or let's say cardiovascular fitness, right? Just not getting out of breath as easily. Those are very different things when it comes to uh, um, training goals, and the way that those are different things for a coach to focus on to try to develop.
So if you fast forward to you make a plan and then you fast forward to achieving the results of that plan, the end result is what?
Well, so this depends on your goals. I'm going to keep coming back to this because everyone is going to be a
That
little bit
presumes I
different,
know what I'm
right?
doing if I have
Uh,
goals for training.
Yeah, but so notice that whenever I have a consultation, we did the same thing with you. Whenever I have a consultation with someone, that's where we start, because there's no reason to invest all of this time and effort into something that is hard, right? Exercise in the end, no matter what you do, is going to be challenging eventually. And so if we're doing something that's challenging, it's worthwhile to make sure that we're getting out of it what we hoped for. So we want to make sure that we're getting a good result for our time investment, because it's challenging. It's challenging to do hard work, whatever kind of exercise that is, and we want to make sure that we're getting our money's worth out of it, so to speak.
Now, one of the things that I'm doing, for example, is I do these deep squats, which I have to say that between one week and the next, I could actually tell the difference that I was weaker one week and the next week I was stronger and the next week I could add more weights to it. So I could actually experience the incremental uh, abilities that I had to do the exercises that you have given me. And then when I go home and I drop something on the floor and I have to bend, I can really see that it's functional. So
It's a similar movement to things that you're going to do in your everyday life, right?
yes, and
Yeah.
that is when you lift weights and do this weight training. Um, that's what you should expect then is to do what functional movements more easily. What are you as a coach aiming at being able to impart to the client in terms of functional movements?
So I like to focus on a handful of movements, and that's it, because it takes a long time to get uh, skilled in these movements. And, the better that we can perform them, the higher quality they are, and the more benefit we can get out of them. So it's nice to only have a few things that you focus on improving, instead of trying to get better at a large number of exercises that you only do every once in a while because of that. So one of them is squatting. That's a major one for most people, because it's getting out, it's getting off of a chair, right? Sitting down and getting up from a seated position. Everybody does that all day long, and
And
that's
you take it for
the
granted until you
ability to
can't
do
do it
that
anymore.
easily. Right, the ability to do that easily, not by itself, but I mean, it's a big part of staying out of assisted living, for instance, right? So squatting it's a very normal movement that humans have to be good at. Another thing humans need to be good at is being able to pick things up off of the ground, and that's the deadlifts that we're doing. Um, Another one would be able to put things on shelves or take things down from shelves over your head, while being balanced and stable and confident that you are balanced and stable. So these, and that would be a press, right? An overhead press of some sort.
Yeah, balance
So
is very, very
those are all good
important.
examples.
When you one of the things that you
Yeah,
talked about that I
and
found
this is
very
one of the things
surprising.
that you
Go ahead.
learn. This is one of the things that you learn when you're doing these movements as well, right? We're integrating some coordination and and balance components into performing these movements because we are holding a weight in our hands and we're standing on our feet. That's another very important element of good training.
When somebody is 60 or 70 or 80, what are they commonly they do they commonly come in like fit or ready, and that's why they've chosen this kind of exercise, or do they come in with ailments that are correctable by strength and muscle training?
That's a good question. Um, there is a wide spectrum of people that come into my gym and come into most gyms that I'm aware of. Some, everyone sort of ages at a different rate, and some people are pretty healthy and pretty fit. And so they come into the gym just to make sure that they don't lose that and get stronger than they are now, but, just get more physically fit and make sure that they don't deteriorate any faster than they have to. Other people come to the gym with lots of medical conditions that have to be managed, lots of accumulated injuries. Um, they can be very deconditioned and frail. I have frequently had clients that start with me that struggle to get out of a chair under their own power. It doesn't really matter. I would say that it's very rare that someone uh, can't engage in strength training. It's a pretty rare. It's a pretty rare occurrence.
So you shouldn't be discouraged from exercising if you have an ailment. You should actually lean into the exercise if you have that ailment. Say, no, no, I'm going to stay home and stay on my easy chair until I recover. In fact, the going in and building your strength and your muscles will help you recover from any kind of ailment. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would argue that if someone falls into that camp of being very deconditioned and more frail, that's more of a reason to train, not less. Humans do not improve physically from resting on a couch or taking it easy. That's really
Darn.
not, that never works.
Oh,
Yeah,
darn.
unfortunately,
So, if what are the ways in which? So you're talking about strength. So that's building muscle or building bone or both, or is one distinct from the other?
Well, they are distinct from one another. But strength training can build both of those. It can build bone density and muscle mass. Um, I'll talk about the muscle first. So, um, this is a big reason to train. Everyone knows that as we get older, we lose our strength and muscle mass over time. And like I said, even if someone is very weak, you'd be surprised at how much progress you can make in a pretty short amount of time, like you are already experiencing. It's only been what, a month and a
Two
half,
months. 2 months. I'm
two
counting the
months.
days. 2 months.
Yeah, and that's and that's usually what I notice is that 1 to 3 months into training, most people notice some difference in their everyday life, and that is independent of someone's starting place. So uh, the key with this is that we want to make sure that whatever exercises we're doing are challenging our strength. So challenging your ability to produce force and not primarily challenging your cardiovascular capacity or your muscular endurance, like we talked about before. So, what I'm talking about here is aerobic exercise, cardio exercise, like spin class, jogging, swimming, that sort of thing, or what I will call calisthenics. So, body weight or lightly weighted exercise, like Pilates or boot camp style group classes. These are, again, these sorts of activities have their place, and they can be, helpful in some ways, but you will very quickly stop getting stronger by engaging in those kinds of exercise, because it's simply not enough stress on the body to cause long-term strength adaptations in the body. It can definitely help, again, with muscular endurance, so you think like uh, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, that kind of thing. That can help with muscular endurance, but after a very short amount of time, it's not going to make you stronger. And same thing with jogging and spin class. It can do wonders for cardiovascular endurance, cardiovascular fitness, but it's not going to make your muscles stronger. And so we need specific activities that are going to address that.
And not every there's not so when just to give the audience an idea, when you go into Stronger Seniors, that's Noah's gym, there's only 3 people in the gym at a time, and there's a couple of sets of barbell areas and bench press areas and uh, sled pushing areas.
Yeah, just a few
That
stations. That's all that I
just a
have.
few stations, and but this is not something that's available everywhere in the country. So where would people go? What are the best ways the common senior can go and start working on their strength building?
This is a tough question. So uh, there there are not a lot of senior strength training gyms in the country that I'm aware of, unfortunately, which is a shame because I think it's pretty obvious that seniors need this service the most out of any demographic of people. But I will say that the equipment older adults need is widely available
So the
all around the
equipment that you
country,
need
all
is
around the
widely
world.
available. So that's a plus. So
It
you can
really
almost
is.
go
Yeah.
to any gym and you're going to find barbells there and weights.
Or at
So
least most of the equipment that you need, and you can purchase for yourself a couple of the specialty things. That's not much of an obstacle.
then how do you
It's
get
the
the leadership
coaches.
to know what you're doing? Is would you go to YouTube or are there
Well,
CDs or
so
do you do it online with a coach like yourself? How do you get that plan?
it definitely is the coaches that are scarce. So if you have a competent coach near you, you're very lucky, first of all. And I would go to them and ask them uh, how you should start. Obviously, this is a big conversation because as people get older, they are not cookie cutter programs don't work very well as you get older because people, again, have accumulated a lot of injuries. They have health conditions that they have to take into consideration. They're taking medications. Um, all of these things mean that they need a customized approach more often than not. They need more modifications more often than not than a younger person would. So that's the easiest way to do it. If you're lucky enough to be near a coach, you should go in and talk to them and they can point you in the right direction.
So if you go
Uh,
to a gym where they focus on barbells and strength training, and you ask them if they have a senior qualified coach, that would be one way. Is that correct? And then what about
yeah.
YouTube or going online? What do you think of that?
Well, that depends as well. So, like a lot of hobbies, you can learn a new skill one of two ways. You can learn that with money, and going to an expert that can guide you on exactly what you need to do, which is a short learning curve, right? But it's might be expensive. Or you can invest your time, and you can put in the time to learn how to coach yourself. Essentially, is what we're talking about.
Well, one of the
And
decluttering
you'll make some
55
mistakes.
plus, one of the decluttering 55 plus kind of credos is take initiative. So that would be a take initiative moment, is to do the research on how to build your own strength.
Absolutely. I say this a lot that just like when it comes to medical issues, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be your own advocate, right? It's important to be informed so that you can tell if a coach is competent and can point you in the right direction or not. I think that that's very worthwhile. So, if you want to learn on your own, there are a couple of things that you can do. One of them is you can you can get Jonathan Sullivan's book that you mentioned at the beginning, The Barbell Prescription. That's available on Amazon, as far as I'm aware. Um, that's a very good book. It's a technical book, but I think it's pretty accessible to the general population. That's a good place to start. There is also a YouTube channel that Jonathan Sullivan has called Graysteel Fitness After 50 that has a huge amount of free content that can be very instructive for people who are just starting out to orient themselves. Again, if nothing else, to orient themselves so that they know what they should be asking a coach for help with.
What I'm hearing you saying, Noah, is if we start taking initiative for ourselves, get the Jonathan Sullivan book, read it, and look at his free YouTube content so that you can see what he's recommending, the kind of exercises. Let me ask you something. Does weightlifting and training do something for your metabolism and weight loss? Because weight loss is not only good for your vanity, but it's good for almost every medical condition that you can think of. If you have the weight off, at least that's not in the way.
Yeah, it absolutely can. So if you build, we didn't talk about bone density yet, but if you build new lean body mass of muscle and bone, that takes a lot of calories and resources to maintain. Now, I want to say that the primary way a person should manage their body composition, their body fat percentage, is with diet. You cannot outlift a poor diet. It's not possible. But building all of that extra lean body mass can help a diet that is maybe a little bit less strict, which of course would be easier to maintain long term. And so it can be a big help in maintaining body composition over time.
And what other ailments can weight and strength training help alleviate?
This really depends on the condition. Like I was saying, training is not a substitute for a proper diet, but it can help a lot with reducing the symptoms of metabolic disease. So, uh, blood sugar issues, right? Things like that. Just I'll briefly mention this. This is a big topic, but muscle tissue is the only tissue in your body that can take sugar, blood glucose, out of the bloodstream into the cells of the muscles without insulin being present. And this is a big deal because there's no other way to lower your blood sugar except by your body secreting insulin. And so, more muscle mass acts as a sponge to more efficiently process blood sugar. So it can only be a good thing to have more of that. Also
Okay.
for heart conditions, your heart is a muscle. So it will respond to a challenge the same way that all the rest of your muscles respond, right? A big one that a lot of people complain about is arthritis. Obviously, a lot of people have arthritis. Um, Arthritis is a degenerative condition. So usually it's just going to get worse over time, unfortunately. But the best thing that you can do for arthritis is to keep moving. So training can be a part of that. If you have joint pain that's not from arthritis, losing body fat and strengthening your connective tissues can go a long ways toward reducing that pain. And what else? A big one is lifting weights is great for low back pain. Sitting less is also great for low back pain, as an aside. But not having a sedentary lifestyle is what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. But strengthening the lower back and using it the way it was intended to be used is a great way of managing low back pain throughout your life, actually.
Well, we're going to run out of time today to be talking about this, but I think we get the message that we have to get off our behinds, get out there, get moving, get some guidance and instruction on how to apply uh, the opportunity to do strength training and bone building in our exercise routine, and to make that a routine, not to think that if you have any ailments that you're disqualifying yourself from exercise, but in fact lean into it and get moving. Is that right? Now,
Yeah, absolutely.
Noah, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
So you can email me at info@strongerseniors.org. They can go to my website, same address, strongerseniors.org. And they can either set up a consultation to talk to me in person or to talk to me online. We didn't talk about this much, but I do have remote clients because, again, there are not coaches available all around the country in every location. And it is possible to get guidance remotely from coaches that are not local to you. So that
Okay,
is another
so
option for people.
we're gonna wrap things up then. So that's info@strongerseniors.org. And by hook
Yep.
or by crook, it's time to be sure that you're not only get out there and exercise, but be sure that you're getting the guidance that you need to uh, build your strength so that you can continue to do everyday activities and so that you don't fall and easily break your bones. Thank you, Noah, for being here today, and thank you all for listening and viewing, uh, and the viewing audience for taking the time to talk about exercise. It's so important that we stay active so that we can live longer. So, please share about your exercise routine. Excuse me. Please share about your exercise routine and particularly about your weightlifting experience with us by going to www.decluttering55plus.com. Click on the Let's Connect button and sign up on the mailing list. Not only do we want to hear about your experience with exercise and weightlifting, but we want to keep you informed about what's going on around here and what's coming up on the Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff podcast. Excuse me. If you haven't already seen a copy of Decluttering 55 Plus Wisdoms to Create a Legacy, Not a Mess, here it is. Excuse me. If you haven't already seen a copy of Decluttering 55 Plus, Create a Legacy, Not a Mess, Wisdoms to Create a Legacy, Not a Mess, go to the website decluttering55plus.com and watch the video by clicking on books and then learn more. It's a spiral book of 29 different messages in the areas of your life that will make a difference in your vitality and your longevity. Leave the book on a dresser or shelf, flip it to any page, get a prompt to get in action. After a while, change the page, get a new message, and you'll stay present to what will make a difference in your life. Get a copy for your friends, your family, yourself. It makes a difference. Remember to tell your friends also to like, follow, and subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Let's get out there and get in action, everyone. I want to thank you again, Noah, for being with us. And thanks to the listening audience for hanging in there and hearing about the importance of building your muscles and bones so that you remain mobile and functional. Now get out there and have a clutter free day. Thank you.